morning, y'all. Michelle G here, Bendy Stitchy. My pronouns are she, her, and this is a channel about cross stitch. And today, a little bit about ATCs, which are artist trading cards, because they're fun too. And it's just like a little tidbit of art. I'll show it later. They're super fun and easy to make, very satisfying. And then you trade them with people, and super fun to collect them all, like Pokemon cards. Anyway, today's August 2nd. We're mostly here to talk about cross stitch, but really we're here to talk about like things I like. So I feel like there's not many things better than listening to one of your friends geek out about what they love and then you getting excited about it too. So if you're into that, this is the place. All right. So first up, looking at my Notion planner. So my friend Nati, she made a template for Notion all about stitching. And then also another one for Flosstube. So I use it to track my projects between Flosstubes. So I can tell you with some degree of certainty, you know, with a standard deviation for the fact that I'm counting my stitches and not using Pattern Keeper. I stitched about 4,800 stitches, 4,868 according to my count, in 14 stitching days since my last episode, which was July 11th. And 25 hours, almost 26 hours, 25 hours, 55 minutes, and 59 seconds, again, give or take, on 6 projects. So I had 2 new starts and 4 WIPs, and let's go, shall we? And then I have plans, of course. I forgot to get out my plan, but I'll just show a picture of it. So I'm just going to go from the top to bottom in the pile. The first one is in a little Millennium Falcon bag that a friend made me. And this is called Fourth Garden. And I actually should pull this up for you. This is a Patreon chart from Ink Circles. So I'm going to go ahead and find my Ink Circles Patreon. This was Tracy Horner's July chart. And there have been many a chart and post since then. But this is the chart. This is the chart. Very patriotic, red, white, and blue. It was for July. And, you know, that's not my jam. So here's my version. I think one thing I love about a chart, I'm getting out the floss so that I can show you. This is called Grandma's Dogwood. It's Dying for Sass. For a minute, I was in the Dying for Sass Floss of the Month Club. I think maybe it was through their Patreon. I'm not sure. Anyway, I replaced the blue in the red, white, and blue with that Grandma's Dogwood, and it is gorgeous. The only thing I have left is a little flower here in the blue, and then the big one over here. I didn't, this is my work project, and I also, all this green stem, this is Roxy Floss Co. Can't Kelp It. All that green I stitched yesterday at Rose's basketball tournament because I forgot to bring my primitive tarot, which has been my sports ball project. So it's wild to me. And so this colorway is inspired by this colorway because it's on the same piece of fabric and the floss was already in the bag. And yes, I'm a little bit sunburned because I didn't wear sunscreen to Rose's basketball tournament yesterday like a fool. Please wear sunscreen. So you can see that this is the Grandma's Dogwood in the border. I have the green here. This pink, I'm going to substitute in for the red on this one. And then I'm going to use black for the white. So one thing I love about this, and one thing Tracy Horner does really well, and actually it's applicable all over the place. A lot of designers design pieces that you can sub fab floss in. You just have to do it, right? You just have to, I know if you're a color substituter, you're a color substituter and you'll sub colors with reckless abandon. And if you haven't done it, sometimes it can feel intimidating. Like, oh, I don't know if these colors will work together. If you do it on a small piece like this and it works, it'll work for a bigger piece too. So also you could be really lazy and not put the floss away and just keep stitching on the same piece of fabric. Pro tip. But the way that the personality of this piece is changed just by changing the colors makes this piece so cool, right? Because like if you love the red, white, and blue, stitch the red, white, and blue. If If you live in a country whose flag is turquoise, yellow, and black, stitch it in turquoise, yellow, and black. If you happen to have these flosses already in your project bag, stitch it in these flosses, right? So the possibilities really become endless once you start subbing colors. So if you haven't subbed colors yet, I highly recommend just try it on a little piece. This one's 81 by 81. This one was like 40 by 40. The stakes are so low, right? If you hate it, I love it. Like the way that the color change in this piece is coming out is wildly beautiful. Like whatever length I cut this to was perfect, because this one up here, I stitched like, in order to get this gradient, I stitched in a continuous line. So I went like this, and then I looped around and came back that way too. And it just was perfect. And that's not one strand of floss. That was like 2 strands of floss. And I did the same with this. I started at the bottom, and you can kind of see I went up like in a wavy, and I got all the way to the top, and then I came back down the other way. Perfect. And these ones I just stitched, this one just worked out really well. I stitched up one line and down the other line. This one wasn't as perfect, but it was still great. I stitched over one and back one. So I just 12 out of 10. I'm excited about this design. It's really easy for me to stitch at work. I don't stitch like when I should be working. I stitch when I'm on a meeting, and it's actually helped me pay attention to the meetings more, because if I'm multitasking with a work task, then I'm not listening to the meeting, right? I'm paying attention to the task I'm doing for work. But if I'm multitasking with cross stitch, I'm actually listening to the meeting, believe it or not. So that's my work project. That will continue to be my work project. It did get a little bonus action yesterday at sports ball, which is good. Never a bad thing. But this is my normal sports ball project. It's in my Star Wars Millennium Falcon bag. Again, of course. Millennium Falcon. This is, I didn't print out, I need to print out the picture, but this is the second in my friend Ryan, Wild Violet Cross Stitches, since I'm on Patreon anyway. Let me just, I'm just going to grab the link. As I mention things, I'm just going to add them because it's faster. I know it's slower for you, but it's faster for me. Plus, that keyboard is really excellent ASMR. I know some people think that I'm like faking the typing. Trust me. Or don't. Wild Violet Cross Stitch. You know what would be nice is if they would alphabetize my Patreon. Could I get that alphabetized, please? Anywho. So this is the second in the series. This is Wild Violet Cross Stitch, my friend Ryan's Patreon. This is the second in the series, so we stitched the star already. I'll show it. This is the moon. I'm going to just show you. So you can see the big picture. There she is. And this is interesting because when I first opened this file, when I think of the moon, I think of like moon, 2 pillars, maybe like a lobster coming out of the river, but a river going between them, sometimes 2 wolves on either side. And this is a version that I haven't really seen. It's a person spinning under the moon. So love that for us. Here is, I'm going to just brag about this one more time. I finished the star like real fast. And then the moon is more stitches than the star, but I am well on the way because once I finish the tree, which I just have like a little bit more here. Oh, look how the star shows through. Once I finish the tree, then I'll outline the moon, put in the Roman numerals, and finish the outside border. And then it's just coloring book fill-in. Not just. Like, it's complicated. There's highlights and lowlights and stuff like that. But like, once I finish the outlines, then I work on all the color, and that's how I'm going to do it. I love to color complete. That's not exactly how I did the star. I started with the bottom here, and then I worked up. But then once I got to the black, then I finished color completing. But I can, this moon pattern lends itself beautifully to fully color completing because I can do the black first. And then once the black is done, I can do everything else. So this is stitched on a piece of, I forgot to say the other one. That's a piece of 36 count Fox and Rabbit fabric of the month. I think it's Mabon was my last one. This is Cedar River linen in, hold on, I gotta pull up my Notion. Cedar River linen, 36 count albarium, which is beautiful. And I should have enough. So I decided I'm going to stitch these individually. So I think I'm stitching this in hand, which is why it's curly. I think I have enough of this to stitch like one, two. I can get the third one over here, no problem. And then I think at the top, I can get 2 more sideways. So I think I can get 5 on this half. And then I cut this in half to make it more manageable to hold in my hand, but I have another piece exactly this size. So I can get 10 just on this piece of albarium that I have. And then I'll just have to go back to Jody and get some more. Woe is me. Or there's how many primitive? There's 22 majors. Is that right? 22 major arcana cards. Maybe I stitch 10 on this color, 10 on another Cedar River linen. I want to keep it all in the same Cedar River linen 36 count family because 36 count from Cedar River should be a 36 count from Cedar River, like size-wise. So if they tend towards 37 or if they tend towards 36, then they should all be very similar. So maybe I'll do 10, 10, and 2 on that. But I am stitching all of Ryan's primitive tarots. So that's my second one. The third one, we just took a poll. Which one do we want for the third? And it was like the Fool, the Hermit, the World, and one more. And I voted for the Hermit, but we'll see. We'll see what Ryan gives us. So that was my second WIP. My second new start. That was a new start since the last Flosstube. Because I think in the last Flosstube, no, it was the one before that I finished the star. I stitched the star really fast, lickety split, but we had a lot of out-of-town sports ball. WIPs. Okay. So I have been working on this one. And again, look at me go. It's a Patreon. I honestly, y'all, I don't know if I'll ever buy a pattern that's released again because I'm in so many Patreons that they just, I don't know. So this is Tiny Modernist Life is Sweet. This was Cheryl's July Patreon. And mine, okay. First of all, let me, why is it saying, weird. I was on the Tiny Modernist Patreon, but it said ink circles when I tried to copy the link. So, okay, here we go. So, oh, sorry. See, I'm not fake typing. Anyway, you saw what it looks like, and here's mine. So, I'm stitching this. This is a 20 count, I think, Ada, that my Diana dyed. It is Kismet. I gotta get this piece back out. I love it. And you can see, so the white is very light. It's not as bright as it is on Cheryl's cover photo. But I think my fabric is a little bit lighter, but I knew I wanted to use this fabric. So, oh, I love this. So I'm almost done this page. I just have to fill in this lemon, and then this page here is like done. And you can see I'm into the words. So this is the tea and sweet. So next I'm going to go over here to this page, and that page, this next page over here has this fabulous bird on it. So I cannot wait. So it'll be, so see, I have to finish the lemon, and then I can move over to this page and I'll get the words, which words stitch up fast. I don't know. These words have like 3 colors in them, but I'll have the words and then some doodads. I do like that Cheryl repeated these doodads throughout. And then this fabulous bird and this little thing. And I think I'll get some cherries and I'll be able to mostly finish the pears. It'll go like up to here. And then the last 2 pages, I get this cutie cute butterfly. I'm probably going to end up stitching that butterfly onto somebody's. See, that's the other thing about ATCs, and I'll get to these later, is you can take a little motif like this and stitch it onto somebody, stitch like just this motif, although that's probably not that little, and put it on an artist trading card, and then that's a finish, right? So anyway, love this. And I have this needle minder that I think I got at the Stitch and Stash retreat last summer, or the summer before, in June. And look how perfect that is. It's got the strawberries, it's got the lemons. It's upside down. It doesn't matter. But those are little, the reason I picked this up, because I love it, is those are little inclusions from slime kits. And someone poured it into resin and made it a needle minder, and Rose was loving slime at the time. So I love this. I'm looking at it now, and I've got to get back to it. I have so many things that I'm saying that about right now, though. I love it. I've got to get back to it. It's a good problem to have when you like all your WIPs. And it is a problem. It is a problem. So this piece is going to be 140 wide by 182 high. Cheryl doesn't give us the stitch count, but it's all in DMC. And I'm stitching it on a piece of 20 count Ada that my Diana dyed. I am going to put this away for a little while because I have a lot of like, not deadline stitching, but I did have a Monopoly roll that I need to take care of. And wait till you see how close I am. Not that close, but I have plans. I have plans, stuff and things. Okay. Next WIP is, this is in a bag that my friend, Jen, Jasmine's Made with Love, Jasmine's Custom Bags. I was mixing her up with Yasmin's Made with Love. Sorry, Jazz. Sorry, Jen and Yas. Perfect bag. This design. So I sent Jen this finish of mine. This is a Darling and Whimsy pattern, Deanna Darling and Whimsy, on a piece of Diana fabric, and my friend Jen turned it into a project bag. And it is, of course, the perfect project bag for Namarie tapestry. This is my version of Namarie. It came up in another Monopoly roll, and I'm inching ever closer to being done on this. Every time I pick it up, it's closer than it's ever been. Isn't that right? So this time for Monopoly, I finished this dragon border. So this, I'm doing this a page at a time. So page finish here, and then this page goes up to this with like one tiny, it starts this border line across, and then it's all words. So the next time I get this out, I'll take these brown borders up and across, and then I'll start with the words. But this was enough this time for my Monopoly roll. This is a piece of 36 count red hawk, or red tail, because of a red-tailed hawk. 36 count red tail from Jessie at Mislaid Pages. And I'm stitching it with this dark brown is DMC 3371. I have a mini cone of it that I bought for Josephine. This color here is Threadworks. It's Samson. And actually mine's so old that I'm still stitching with a Needle Necessities, but you can do that with Threadworks. The current company called Threadworks used to be owned and called Needle Necessities, but when Threadworks bought them, they bought all of their formulas, and the consistency between Needle Necessities and Threadworks is wild. It's so good. So I have no problem. I'm probably going to run out of, I might not. I have two 20-yard skeins, so I might not run out of this. We'll see. And then this, in all the doodads here and all the words, is a Treenway silk called Munsford Wood. And I think I'll have enough of that. I am stitching 2/2 on 36 count, but it's giving me like a nice color saturation and a poofiness. And you can also, you might be looking at this and going, Michelle, what's with your borders? Because you can see I have about 1.5 inches here, and I have much more than 1.5 inches there. What's with my borders is I strategically placed this so that my words could hit this light spot here. So you can do that with highly modeled fabrics. You can choose the personality of the area that you stitch on. And that's what I did for this one, is I knew this would be a little bit darker. I wanted the words in this light spot. And then back up here at the top, the light spot carries through. But so that was the plan, is to get a lot of this Munsford Wood and the words on this. And then you can't see it, but I can. Down here, I put my uncle's initials. I was going to stitch this for him. I was going to give this to him, but then he died. So I'm making it his memorial piece instead. And you can barely see it. I just did his initials in Munsford wood inside the tree, but it's there. So I will get that out again when Monopoly calls for it, and or when it becomes one of my oldest WIPs, because when I tell you I have plans for my oldest WIPs, like, I have plans for these oldest WIPs. They're getting done. And I'll explain that all in a minute, because right on cue, my next WIP is one of my oldest WIPs, and it is Cryptid Sow. So I can put this in the to be put away pile, which is just a pile on my floor. Have a sip of my coffee. And then, if you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here and you caught me last week, you remember, maybe, that I was debating on whether or not to UFO this. And I just couldn't do it. I could not. I couldn't. My heart. I love this piece too much. I could not. UFO means unfinished object, and you just basically like abandon a WIP, right? I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, y'all. I love it. This is Cryptid's Sow from the Witchy Stitcher, and my mistake. So I'm stitching this on 40 count linen from Jody, Steel City Stitchers, and this is when Jody was like first dyeing linen. This is how old this project is. I started this. So this is my fourth oldest project. I started this August 1st, 2021. I love this linen. I love the color of it. Even Meg Witchy, she was like, ooh, that looks like an upholstery you would find in your grandma's attic. I love it. Perfect, right? Meg ships it. I'm using DMC Diamant on this. And I can't quit the Diamant. I can't. My friend Aya, she said, what if you just switch over to DMC 310 and you call it part of the journey? And I was like, yeah, I should totally do that. And then I was like, no, I can't do that. I might be able to do that eventually, but you can't see on camera. But when I look at this in person, it's like Catwoman's suit from Batman Returns. Is it Batman Returns? It's Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. This whole thing, all of these cryptids are giving Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. And I just can't, I can't take that away from them. It looks so good. So I decided that in order to finish it, what we're going to do, MK Stitches is helping me out with this. What we're going to do is Cryptid Resal 2026. If you have this piece and you did not finish it when the original sal was going on, we are reselling it. Cryptid Resal 2026, one cryptid per week, if you can, or whatever your pace is. You know me, I'm a chaos monster. My goal is one cryptid per week. Now, did I do that? No, because I would have had 3 more freaking cryptids on since I thought of this idea. I posted this I posted this 1 week ago. So today I'll finish my jackalope. But I made you, it's on my Instagram. I made you this little title page. So there's me. And then you just pop your picture in there and you participate. I'm also going to start a group chat on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, go comment on this post. I'll add you to a group chat and we're going to moral support each other through this. I'm going to finish Jackalope today. That's my first plan for today, is finish Jackalope. He's like almost done, right? Like really, it's like 2 lines across the top, some doodads, and then the jackalope. Almost done. So I did stitch on that a little bit because it came up, I think, probably in Stitching Monopoly. That's how everything works around here, really. And I just decided I can't quit that WIP. So I will finish it. And there's still a lot of border left as well. So also what I'm going to try to do is, as I stitch my cryptid, I want to bring this border down and around, right? So I'll get a break as I'm doing the cryptids down through here. I'll get a break from the border, and then I'll stitch this cryptid and the border. And then really, it'll crank up, the border will crank up when I'm stitching these cryptids over here, because then this border has to come back up the side. I also really like the idea of finishing a border first, so I might just work on that periodically. This would be a good strand a day project for the border. I'll think about that. All right. And then my last WIP, and I'm so excited to show y'all this because this is my third oldest WIP. I started this March 3rd, 2021. The only WIPs I have older than these two is my own spot sampler, which I don't know. It's put away in a drawer. But the idea behind my own spot sampler is everybody has patterns that you love, but maybe you don't want to stitch the whole pattern. So like Midnight Visitor by Blackbird Designs, I just took this moth and put it on my spot sampler. And then the next one was this Crazy Chicken from Plum Tree Cottage from Rosewood Manor. And then I did... Oh, that one's not done. Let me show you. Let's look at it when it gets done. Is it this one? Oh, I did this hedgehog from Sheepish Designs hedgehog sampler. I didn't want to stitch the whole hedgehog sampler, although it's cute. I just wanted to stitch that hedgehog. And then it's got this wild like plant thing from Completed Blue by Little Design Company. Again, great sampler. I really just wanted this weird plant. And there it is. And then I got a really good idea and I thought I'm going to take a color from my previously completed motif and I'm going to use it in my next motif. So this is a little house from the Laurel Witch. And then, see, this is the Laurel Witch, the White Witch, and this is that little house from that. And then next I did, wait for it, this is this great house from Home is Where You Hang Your Needlework by Homespun Elegance, and I'm using Blood Puddle from Stitchy Box, or I used, because that's done. So my next motif is going to be a little fox from Barbara Anna Designs, and I'm going to put the fox kind of maybe like down here or over here, and I'm going to use this Blood Puddle color in that, because I used 3799 in this house motif, and then I used 3799 for the roof and that. And I think that's going to give me a little bit more cohesion amongst the chaos. It's not going to be that cohesive because this is a chaotic piece and that's what I'm going for. But this is my second oldest WIP. My oldest is Contessa with Squid. It's Josephine. No progress since I love Nati. No, I haven't touched it since April 6, 2025. Yowza. But you can see Cryptid Sal is my fourth oldest. 2020 Pandemic Sampler is my third oldest. And just yesterday, so last week I moved the Q-snap for the final time. So I don't have it hooked down here at the bottom. But you can see like this is all done. And just yesterday, are you ready for this? The border matched up. You know. If you know, you know, right? If you're watching this, you know. That is a big deal that border matched up. That's a huge deal that border matched up. So, according to my friend Dee, I am 80% of the way through this. I don't have it on Pattern Keeper, but Dee can do a percentage like nobody's business, so I believe him. So I'm saying I'm 80% of the way through this. I will finish this. This is going to be my focus piece. Today I'm going to stitch my cryptid and I need to stitch on Hex Hotel for stitching Monopoly, but I want this finished by Christmas. Like my goal actually would be to have this finished before Christmas so that I can take it to Acorns and have it framed as a Christmas gift to myself. I think that's what I'd really like to do. It's not as big size-wise as it could be because this is 40 count and I'm stitching this 1/2 on 40 count. This is 40 count Shrinking Violet. It's from, let me see. Luckily, I think I have it in Notion. It's from Kitten Stitcher. 40 count Shrinking Violet from Kitten Stitcher. And it's stitched in Mrs. Sadis silk conversion. So when this came out in 2020, during the pandemic, that's why it's called 2020 Pandemic Sampler. It's a reproduction from Little Sarcy Girl. I was just going to stitch it in the DMC, but Mrs. Sadis came out with this silk pack and she sent me one for myself. And then or maybe I bought one. I can't remember if she sent me one or if I bought one, but either way, she sent me a second one and we auctioned that one off. But I have to tell you that when I'm done with this, there's going to be enough silk to do this again because these silk, it's a lot of silk and I stitched it over 40 count. And even these colors that I use the most of in the border, and this red flower here is the same as this house. There's going to be plenty of those to stitch this again. So once I'm done with this, I'm going to find you a piece of 40 count linen in my stash and I'm going to auction it off. I'm so happy that that border matched up. So look for this more in the future. And then speaking of auctions, so that's a future auction. I am going to, today on my Patreon, thank you to everyone who bid in the auctions last week for the Star Wars kits. I don't know if you remember this. This is Abra Lowney, 1825 from Erica Michaels. And this is on a piece of 40 count vintage country mocha. And the called for is all a floss brand that I don't use. And this was the first piece that I re-kitted out of that. This is the first piece that I said, no, I'm not using that floss and did a full conversion. So this is my version, my finish. And what I'm going to do for auction for this week is I will grab you a piece of 40 count from my stash. I have the chart. Abra is a trip, y'all. She is a trip. Like she is so irregular that it was actually like a joy to stitch because once I caught on to the irregularities and Linda does a great job in calling them all out. Like this pattern is it's a little bit intimidating at first, but then once you get into it, you realize like, oh, it feels intimidating because she's showing me exactly what I need to do. So this pattern, the way it's written, like 12 out of 10. It's amazing. But I'm giving you my conversion and then my conversion. So I also am including this. This is some Vicky Clayton silk that my friend Nati sent me in case I needed it to do the words because I did 40 count. So that's the other thing is I can send you some 40 count. There's a lot of over 1 in this, right? So maybe I'll put up a couple of options for colors, but like this is all over 1. This is over 1. There is quite a bit of over 1 here in this tree. And the stems of this plant here, over 1. I think that's all the over 1. This really does need to be stitched on like a linen or an even weave, unless you want to use a really sharp needle and do a lot of piercing of your Aida. This really does, because there's so much over 1, and then there's a whole line up here that's like 3. You know how on linen you usually count 2 holes for a line? There's a whole line up here of alphabet that's down 3. And then I think actually the whole thing after that is offset because I don't think there's 2 rows that are off 3. There's 1 row and then everything's offset after that. So this really does need to be done on a linen or an even weave. So what I'll do is when I do the auction, I will put pictures of this. You can't have this. You're not getting this. This is mine. That's mine. I'll put up pictures of that and I'll put up pictures of this and then my conversion. And then I'll put up a couple of options of different sizes of fabric. So I'll try to find like a 40 and a 36 and a 32. I don't know if I have a 28 that's big enough for this. But I'll put up a few different options of fabric, and then whoever wins the option, you can just choose what kind of fabric you want. And I think that's the best way to be like the most inclusive. But also know that like if you choose a 28, there might not be enough of some of these. Like I'm especially thinking of this Gentle Arts Mediterranean Sea. There's not much of this left. So I'll see if I have another color that's equivalent to that. And if not, then you'll just have to get nuts with Abra and know that like Abra would have just changed her colors and not cared about it. Because Abra doesn't care. She really doesn't. And that's one thing I love about her. I love the verse. And I love the fact that Abra doesn't care. Like the verse, so she was 11 when she stitched this. And the verse says, "Oh, let my name engraven stand, both on thy heart and on thy hand. Let me upon thine arm and wear that pledge of love forever there." Oh yeah, the G's just weird. It's just like a morbid little verse from an 11-year-old, and everything is so like, whenever she found that she made a mistake, she was just like, fuck it. And she kept stitching. And I feel like I love that attitude. And now I'm going to have to say that I said a bad swear in this. Anyway. Okay. So that'll be up for auction. You heard my plans. I'm going to stitch Jackalope today, and then I'm going to stitch Hex Hotel. So Hex Hotel is I didn't get it out of the cabinet. So Hex Hotel is my 5th oldest project. It's from Dee and Kari, and it's beautiful. I'm actually getting pretty far on this. So like my plan is I'm stitching this. This is another piece of Jody fabric. This is a 40 count Verdal. I think this was my first time ever using 40 count Verdal, and I absolutely fell in love. And this is Stitchy Box Silk in Bat Orchid, which is my favorite black. If you're looking for a black variegated, Stitchy Box Bat Orchid, that's your man. Marry him. But all I have left is, so this right here represents about I think somewhere in this region is the page mark. So I have the top 2 pages done with the outline in black. I have to finish this section of the house, which is a front window here. And then there's stairs off the bottom. And once I'm done the black, then I'll fill in with my colors. So it's going to be a minute. I don't believe that this one will be done by the end of the year, but I do think that I can finish Cryptids and 2020 Pandemic Sampler by the end of the year. And then my other plan, just so you know, is this is Tiny Modernist Zodiac Sal. And I inherited this WIP from a stitcher who passed away, and her family gave all of her stash to Janine at Acorns and Threads. And Janine just put it all out in the stitching area, and she was like, if any of this can go to a good home, that's what this stitcher would have wanted. So I inherited this WIP, and I think it had Aquarius, Pisces, and Aries, and then most of Taurus stitched. All of the border was stitched and the bubbles. No sun and no doodads were stitched. So my original plan was to stitch each zodiac sign during its season. And I kept up with that for a hot minute, and then I fell off. It's fine, whatever. I've been working on this since 2023. But we are currently in Leo season. I'm done with Leo, thank God. That was a ton of stitches. Now we're about to hit Virgo season. So my new plan is my old plan. My new plan is to rejuvenate my old plan. And during Virgo season, I'll finish Virgo, and then I'll do Libra, which is not that many stitches, and then I'll do Scorpio. Is that the order I'm going to do it in? I think that's the order I'm going to do it in. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. Yep. I'm going to do Virgo during their season, Libra, Scorpio, and then when I do Libra, obviously I'll do the doodads around here. When I do Scorpio, I'll do the moon, and then I think I might owe it some doodads right here, and then we'll be done. And Scorpio season ends in mid-December. Is that right? Nope. Mid-November. When is Scorpio season? It has to be October to November, right? Because October 23rd to November 22nd. Okay. So I should be done by the end of November with this. And this is huge. It's on 25 count, 2/2. It's like a blanket size. So we're doing it, folks. We're doing it. So that's my plan, to have like 4 of my oldest WIPs done by the end of the year. We'll see. We'll see. If you're new here, you know. If you're new here, welcome to the fact that I might not finish that, actually. And if you're not new here, you know. All right. I did have some purchases come in this week, and last month and the month before. I don't know if I showed these, but I'm going to show these. These are Fox and Rabbit Fabrics of the Month from May, June, and July, and they're gorgeous. So this is May. It's called Tumbleweed. I get the 36 count linen. Beautiful. I split them with Anna. My friend Anna up in Portland, but I haven't seen her in 100 years, so that's my fault. This is June's fabric of the month. It's called Winter Wheat. Again, beautiful. It does tend a little bit towards peach, which I kind of like for a, God, I am so sunburned. I I like that it tends towards peach. It's just pretty. And then this is July, and I love July. This is called Toast. Look at that. Karen and Brian, can you put Toast into the line so we can design on it? Toast and Tumbleweed, I would love to see permanently. I would love that. So that is this whole quarter of fabric of the month from Fox and Rabbit. You cannot go wrong. If you love linen, you cannot go wrong with Fox and Rabbit. And then my other one is, here we go. I am a member of Nuri Shaded Stitchery's Patreon. I know I talk about Patreon a lot. I'm in a lot of Patreons, and I like supporting people this way. Like, you get good stuff, and it's fun. So, Shaded Stitchery, I will link Nuri in my Flosstube planner. The nice thing about this is that I put all of these in here, and then I just copy and paste that whole thing into my notes, and then you guys get it all too. So, Nuri sends the cutest little packages. They're so cute, and there's so much in them, and I'm going to go through it. So, first of all, this little envelope. I love a little envelope. We get a personalized, it's Nuri's business card, but it's a personalized, like, counter. Package number 2, July 26, 2026, number 2, right there. 9 out of 20. Compiled, QC'd. Tier is Hue Hive. Her organization is so great. And then we get contents. And this one is a QR code for a printable coloring page, which is the first time she's done that. So, let's see. And her packages are so cohesive. They're almost, so far, there's been 2. So far, they've both been inspired by her own patterns. So if you're a fan of her patterns, you're going to be a fan of your care package. It just makes sense. So first is an art print. This is inspired by Taking Up Space, which I stitched already. So this is, I'm going to show it to you because this is where we are. This is where we're at. Taking Up Space. I finished this October 26th of last year. It's framed and it's on my wall now, but this is that. So you can see right here, the sun and the moon. That is what inspired this. I love this. All right, so art print inspired by Taking Up Space. I won't put it back in its packaging. And then there's this. So the coloring page is inspired by both Taking Up Space and A Sampler for Grace. And then there's this. Look at these little envelopes. They're so cute. This little envelope is a corner bookmark. And on the back, it says, Reading is Liberation. And this is inspired by both Taking Up Space and A Sampler for Grace. How do I not have a book right here? I do. Hold on. I gotta read this. Someone left this on my desk, and I still don't know who it was at work. The Usefulness of Useless Knowledge. I felt seen. But so you just, rather than, I'm a page folder, but rather than being a page folder, you just slip it on the corner, right? And there you are. Been under there so long it's got dust on it, but I need to. Okay. And then inspired by A Sampler for Grace, we have I'm gonna keep doing this. We have a charm/fob and a needle minder. So this is one of Nuri's. So little fob charm. And she did this in her last package too. It was inspired by the Under the Sea. A little fob charm, and that's totally speaking to the kid in all of us, right? With those little melty thingies. And then look at that needle minder. So sweet. Isn't that great? Love that. And last time too, we got the same, except they were opposite. She did a Shrinky Dink charm and this needle minder. So now they're flipped. And then last but not least is a sticker sheet inspired by this Juneteenth day. Oh, I ripped the... Dang it. The packaging is good. The packaging is strong. Bless you. I don't like ripping fabric or ripping... I don't like ripping fabric. I don't like ripping packaging. This is good. Ooh, this is good. Multifaceted flags from Shaded Stitchery. And these are water bottle quality. So, awesome. This is taken right off of this Juneteenth day. Obviously, a pride, inclusive pride flag. A U.S. flag. And I am sorry and embarrassed to say that I do not know. But we're about to find out, because when you don't know something, you look into it. So according to the Smithsonian, this is the American flag and this is the African American flag. Love it. Designed by Marcus, and see, this is how we learn, right? So designed by Marcus Garvey. This is the African American flag. Oh. I guess the first iteration. Oh. So this one is designed by, I stand corrected. This one is designed by David Hammond. Marcus Garvey designed the African American flag, which looked like the Italian flag, except that it was red, black, and green. But it was so abstract, so pure, that the masses were frightened by it. This is according to David Hammond. I made my flag because I felt that they needed one like the U.S. flag, but with black stars instead of white ones. The colors and symbols of David Hammond's now iconic flag symbolically merged the red, black, and green colors of Marcus Garvey's Pan-African flag and the stars and stripes of the American flag. His commingling of colors and symbols of both flags simultaneously reference Black pride and heritage and the ways African Americans have celebrated freedom while confronting America's unfulfilled promises. See? Thanks, Nuri. Not only do I have stickers, but I'm learning shit too. Like, thank you. That was the package, and I love it. And I'm in such an ATC mode that I'm like, oh, I'm going to use this for an ATC. This is what happens when I start making things with things. I start like, I keep little scraps of shit that I shouldn't keep. And I'm a little sweary today, and I'm not sorry about that. Okay, so that is all of my things that I have bought and or received in the mail. Now let's talk ATCs. So that's all the stitching, kind of. It's not all the stitching. Hold on. I stand corrected. So ATC is Artist Trading Card. And my friend Heather has hosted a lot of swaps for these, and she's kind of taken a little bit of a break, which is legit. I think I participated, I think all of these are her themed swaps. I think I participated in 6. So the theme of this one was summer fun. And the idea is you make art that is the size of a trading card. And these stitching ones, you'll see a lot of variation. So this one is all stitching on Ada. And then with the cute little rickrack. This one's not in the package with the others because she's thick. But here's 2 more that I received. This one is from Jen, Wolf Down the Rabbit Hole. And the theme was Winter Wonderland. And this one is from Distracted Stitcher, and the theme was Stitcher's Choice. And if Charlotte did not stitch me a whole damn sampler on an ATC over one, that's wild. So those are the vertical ones. And then I have another sheet for the horizontal ones because they just display better. So this one was from the Year You Were Born theme ATC swap. And Marissa at M. Kissa, she and I are both 1982 babies. And so she stitched me this from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And then you got to see the back. She put a picture also. Because you can also, and she legitimately used a playing card. That's how easy this is. This one is from October 2024 ACT Swap Autumn Vibes. It's a freebie from Dirty Cuss Stitch and Stitch Sweater Weather. And Donna from Stitch X Love stitched that for me. And then this one, I stitched. I think this was the same swap. This is a witchy stitcher pattern that I just took some motifs out of. And this is actually my version. I made 2 of these. One I sent to my friend Trina. I should label the back of mine. One I sent to my friend Trina and one I kept for myself because I liked it so much. So those are my Stitchy ATCs. I also recently, I'm in the middle of, I guess, hosting an ATC swap. And I just called it the Anything Goes ATC swap. So the idea is that I gave people a bunch of questions. I said, make an ATC that you want to make or make an ATC that you want your partner to have. Go by their likes, go by whatever, or just make something you want to make. Put stitching on it, don't put stitching on it. So these are the ones, since I'm hosting the swap, I'm trying to make, there's 11 people in the swap, not counting myself. I'm trying to make everybody an ATC. And this is my first 6, so I have 5 more to go. This one is for my partner. I'm not telling who these are for. So I think some people might know if it's for them, but some people might not. So I have this one. It's stickers. I put together stickers and the background and then some net over the bird's face to make him extra fancy. This one, the person likes sunsets. So I used this butterfly sticker as the sun, and then I did tissue paper, like to try to fade up a sunset, and then washi tape for rays of the sun. This one, the person likes orange, and I know they're a little weird, and I love that about them. So I did orange, and I found an orange like mushroom fungus stamp. So I put this airmail on it too, and this fish just needed a flower hat, I thought, and a shiny eyeball. So there's that. This person likes space. So I tried to go like spacey with the background, and then I had a stamp of the Hubble telescope. Oh no! I messed up Donut's laser eyes. Obviously this person likes Dungeon Crawler Carl. And I've only read the first book, so I'll have to re-glue Donut's laser eyes. But I also put a donut on the back of it. So I'll re-glue Donut's laser eyes before I send this out. But for mine, I like to keep them in these, baseball card holders. And then when I send these out, what I'll do is I just cut these up along the lines, along the dotted lines, so that I can send them in like a little plastic sleeve so they're not just floating in the mail. But, so this ATC swap is closed. I do have another ATC swap that's open. I'll open it up for a few days. So it's a cryptid ATC swap. So if you like cryptids, you can stitch it or you cannot stitch it. It can be like these or it can be like these. And you'll get a partner who also likes cryptids, and you'll get to know what's their favorite cryptid. You can make them theirs or you can make them yours. It's whatever. But I also have a Discord channel that I will link for swaps. So over here on my Discord, we're putting pictures. We put a link. Anybody can host a swap, right? My friend Michelle, Chinook Crafter, is hosting a trick-or-treat swap. It's closed right now. But you just drop your sign up in there. And then you sign up. And then when you receive your card or when you make your card, you drop a picture in there. So this one was made for my Anything Goes ATC swap. And so was this one. So a lot of people have been stitching. So was this one. And some people have not been stitching. I didn't stitch on any of mine yet. So super fun. But like I said, like you can see here, like this is not these little dragons. That's not the entire pattern, right? Amy just took these dragons and she stitched them over and over again in different colors. And she took this mountain background. It's like, I love this so much, right? And then same with this. Like this might be a whole ass pattern that Jen stitched for her partner. It might be. It actually looks like it is. This aggression will not stand. Who else loves The Big Lebowski? I gotta watch that. And then this one, Rachel, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Rachel just designed this up herself. And then like how she shredded out the fabric. Love it. 12 out of 10. So cool. But really you can do anything with these ATCs. So I'm gonna open up my cryptid ATC thingy thing, the sign up again. And if you're interested, I'm going to open it up for a few days and you can sign up, and then I'll send out because I want to mail this before I open my next swap. So I'll send out the partners soonish, whatever. I think that's all I have. Oh, I forgot to mention that the auctions that I'm doing right now are for RTFC, Restore Together Foundation for Care. It's a group of orthopedic surgeons in my area, and they partner with Creighton University, and they go down to the Dominican Republic every January and they perform orthopedic surgeries. So all of my fundraising lately has been going to them. I've also been listing fundraising on Bendy, Stitchy, D-Stash. I'll link that below. So you can go buy some of my project bags. I have too many. Really? So there's some of these have been claimed and some of them have not been claimed. So if they don't have a comment, they haven't been claimed. And if you've claimed them, I ship like once or twice a week. So if you've claimed them and you've donated, I will send it to you. But I have a whole box of stuff that that was just part of it. So keep an eye. What I decided to do is sometimes I overwhelm myself with the amount of things that I need to ship. So if I only put up like 20 auction items at a time, then I only end up having to ship 20 things at a time. Still sounds like a lot, but there we are. So we're raising money again for RTFC, and I'm going in January. So January and February, I'm not going to be home very much because I'm going to be in the Dominican Republic volunteering with RTFC and helping do these orthopedic surgeries. And I'm probably, let's be very clear, I'm not going to be helping to do the surgeries. I'm going to be helping with like logistics and cleaning up and like wherever I can, right? Because I'm not an OR nurse. I'm going to leave that to the professionals, and I'm just going to be a support person. I'm so type B, y'all. I am happy to scrub surgical instruments when we're done. Happy to. Just teach me how. And then in February, I'm going to be off gallivanting with Jean Farish on the Flosstube at Sea 2027. So that's going to be fun. I'm excited for that. But I am going to be away quite a bit in January and February. So I'm trying to save up my PTO. I have plenty. I'm trying to save up my PTO, and I hope I don't miss too much volleyball because that is high volleyball season. And I have a feeling I'm going to miss, if I'm away for like 3 weekends, I'm probably going to miss 3 volleyballs. And I'm trying to come to terms with that. But still really good opportunities, and like I wouldn't miss it. So I don't know. That's all I've got, I think. I talked about everything. So I'm going to go. I'm going to make a couple more ATCs. And this is fun because I use the back. So I bought a deck of tarot cards that turned out to be plagiarized from another artist that I follow. So rather than just throwing away the cards that were plagiarized, I've been using the cards, and I just trace a playing card, and I use these cards as the base for my ATCs. So I'm not using the deck to draw, and I'm just what am I doing? I'm reduce, reusing, recycling. Yeah. So, okay, that's all I've got. I think I talked about everything. Just to recap, please come and join me and MK Stitches with the cryptid resal. We're going to do one a month, one a week, whatever you want, one a year. I don't care. Stitch one at a time with us. Stitch them one at a time. Do one a day. Shit, I don't care. Also, join me on Bendy, Stitchy, D-Stash and on my Patreon for some D-Stash items and auctions for RTFC. And then also, I forgot to mention Laura, Stitching by the Shore, who I just recently started watching. Laura hosts quarterly ATC swaps. You can, yes, I'm on a kick. Has it become my entire personality? 90%. I've been here before though. Laura hosts quarterly ATC swaps, and they have themes. So, and then the interesting thing about what Laura does is she has everybody send the ATCs to her, and then she sends them out. And you can send as many as you want on the theme. So like if you make 5 ATCs, then she's going to take yours and send them to 5 different people, and she's going to send you 5 different ones, which is cool. And then the other cool thing that she does, since they all come to her, is she does these show and tell videos where she takes you through all of the ATCs that got sent to her for the swap. So if you're like, oh, I don't really know like what I would stitch or what I would put on one or like how I would do it, or like, oh, those look too fancy for me, please go watch one of Laura's videos, because there's everything from like, holy crap, this person stitched an entire sampler, to like, look at that cute little bug that's on there, right? That was the Things with Wings swap themed, and I wish I hadn't missed that one. So also keep an eye on Laura's YouTube, Stitching by the Shore, because she will make a special video and announcement when the next ATC swap opens. So I'm totally getting in on that. She also has great projects. If you wanted to watch her other videos, she's lovely to watch and very soothing voice. So now that's it. Now I've shouted out Laura, told you to go watch for her ATCs, tried to get you obsessed with me. Not obsessed with me, but tried to make you be obsessed along with me, right? Obsessed together. So now I'm going to go and maybe make an ATC, maybe stitch a cryptid, maybe put some stuff away. Probably not that. Probably get out my Hex Hotel to see where it is, where I'm at with it. Maybe read The Usefulness of Useless Knowledge. I don't even know. I don't even really know what that's about. I think I talked about it on a book, on a Flosstube when I first got it, and that's been a while. I'm so bad at saying goodbye. I will say goodbye. Sports ball season is kind of over. I do have I'm not saying goodbye. I'm explaining some more. I do have a conference that I'm going to next weekend, so we're going to look at possibly filming on the 15th, although for some reason I'm thinking the 15th has a thing. So look for me again the weekend of the 15th. I could be here filming a Flosstube if something doesn't come up. And in the meantime, stitch what you want, craft what you want, do what makes you happy, and I'll see you soon. Bye.